Welcome to another McSoss video. Today we're here to talk Voltron, Legendary Defender, Season
3.
3.5. 3.7. I'm fucking jacked.
Because they sort of cut it in half like that.
Yeah.
But aren't you happy that you're going to get more Voltron in October?
I guess so. Like, it's real bittersweet.
Yeah, I was excited that we're going to get it in a couple
Yeah,
months.
like, I'm glad they already had the promos out right after you finish episode 7 and, rolls right into a little tease from what's coming in Season 4, which is essentially the back half of Season 3. It's like they're doing, fall, spring.
Yeah.
The way regular TV does.
Netflix has a good product, and they're going to stretch it out as long as they possibly can. Did Season 2 come out at the beginning of this year, or was it at the end of last year? I forget.
Season 2 is the end of last year.
Okay.
I think. We here at McSauce aren't real concerned with the details. If you've watched a lot of these videos, you probably get that by now. If you listen to the podcast, you definitely understand.
Years of just loose facts.
Mm-hmm. Did you like it?
I loved it, yeah. I was really into it. I wish I had more. I think that they did some pretty interesting stuff with Shiro being gone for the bulk of the series, and you get to see some old school Lion pilots in there.
Yeah.
Piloting the way that they used to when we were kids.
I guess it was episode 2 when they were all finding new pilots.
Mm-hmm.
They're new Lions, and damn if that episode didn't choke me up 3 times.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Each when Alora, Lance, and Keith all get the new Lions. And, I watched Voltron as a kid. I loved Voltron as a kid. But it never cracked that top 3, the Star Wars, He-Man, Transformers, trifecta. Those were my gold standard as a kid.
Yeah.
Voltron was probably around 5.
Yeah.
I've watched enough of it that it has that soft spot for me. So whenever I was watching this episode, and Lance can't go back to blue,
yeah,
and he fires up red and everything, I'm like, oh my god, this is great, this is so cool.
Watching it, I was getting so excited because I knew where they're gonna eventually slot in and who was gonna fly which lion. And I'm sitting there. And my wife's sitting next to me, and she's like, well, how come they didn't change their costumes? Now the color schemes are all messed up, red and black and pink and blue. And it's like, but that's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
It was so good and so gratifying. But I guess visually for a new watcher, it wasn't passing the Voltron muster.
It was definitely pulling on nostalgia.
Yeah.
And it worked because I was a mess watching that shit. And it was just so good. I love the way they handled it, the way they're handling the characters. I love that they have trouble with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Red's too fast for Lance at first, and Black isn't fast enough for Keith. It's not as agile.
Mm-hmm.
And Hunk and Pidge the whole time, and their normal Lions are just like, come on.
Yeah, I like that it was there was a learning curve, that the Lions are different. I like that Keith is still a hothead and he's still trying to charge into battle, even though they clearly can't even fly these things. Or at that point, they couldn't even form Voltron, and they're going to go do battle. So, yeah, I really like this season. It did seem really quick. It seemed where Season 2 kind of had a lot of different... I felt like they went in a lot of different paths, and they explored a whole bunch of different things. Like when they go to that space mall, I felt like that was like a weird kind of side thing in Season 2 that they were allowed to do, where this season was pretty much all one main story that they were following along.
Yeah,
so
and when you only have 7 episodes, you kind of need to keep it pretty focused, pretty streamlined. You don't get 3 extra episodes to screw around with. I think the first 2 seasons were 10.
I think so, yeah.
12 episodes? 10?
Maybe 10. We don't know. You can correct us.
What I really liked is when they're trying to decide on who's getting the Black Lion. Hunk and Pidge both stand up and they're like, I wanted to be the head. And Hunk goes into the Black Lion and he sits there for a second and he comes back out. And I think it's Coran. He's like, didn't you want to be You said you wanted to be the head, and I'm just like, no. I wanted to be the head with the yellow lion, which was just such a funny visual. And like, I'm no huge anime fan or the way like anime shows handle comedy, but something about everything with the writing and the animation all work together. I think that show's so funny.
Yeah.
It's able to pull on my heartstrings and deliver the yucks.
Yeah, it's a really well written show. And a lot of that nostalgia that it pulls out was really present in, not just with the pilots, but later on, spoilers, everyone, if you don't know, but later on, because I spoiled it for you by accident, I think it's episode 4 or 5, we get Sven, who was one of the original pilots in the original series, who ends up, he gets badly wounded and has to be sent away in the original series, and here he's from an alternate dimension, and I got overzealous, shall we say, when I watched it on Friday night and quickly texted my buddy here that Sven was back, and he hadn't watched it yet, so I spoiled it for you.
Sorry. Well, at least you didn't spoil how Sven came back. When we're gonna see him.
Yeah. So that still had some mystery to it.
Yeah, and I was kind of bummed out by what happened with him.
I thought it was going to be more of an integral part of the team. I thought it was going to be more than one episode. So yeah, it was kind of weird. He didn't even do much in that episode.
No, and I thought they were going to keep Shiro away a lot longer.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be gone for this entire this season and maybe even next season.
As soon as we don't see him in the first 3 episodes, and all the focus is on, we need to find a new pilot for the Black Lion, and they're juggling the lions, they're trying to sort everything out, and then they finally get everything together with Lance, Keith, Hump, Pigeon, Allura. I'm like, oh well, this is new status quo. Maybe Shiro is dead.
Yeah,
and that's it. He disappears at the end of season 2, and that's it.
I thought that there might be some kind of some time jump thing or something where they get Shiro back eventually, but maybe a season or 2 later, but he would be so old that he couldn't pilot, or so old or so hurt or something that he couldn't pilot the Black Lion anymore. I thought they were going to do something like that, but in a way, the drama that they have now, it's a little interesting because the Black Lion no longer responds to him. So what is his place on the team?
Yeah.
And he's still kind of, there's a battle between him and Keith where he's giving these orders and Keith's kind of rebelling against them, and the team's sort of fractured.
They're both trying to give orders now that he's back.
Yeah.
But they're giving different orders.
Yeah.
And this show has rarely had missteps. But I think the way they brought Shiro back, there have been 2 missteps.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is I like nuts and bolts. I like how things are supposed to happen. I don't like suspending my disbelief too much. You set up certain signs in the show's universe, you need to abide by that. So if the Black Lion's able to sense Shiro's dying out in space, how come the Black Lion doesn't respond to him then when he's back and he's ready to take control again?
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a weird, unexplained kind
of thing. And I'm all in on
the weird... it clearly still has that close bond with him.
And I'm all in on the weird magic of the mental bond between the lions and the pilots, and the way if a lion gets hit with a laser blast, the pilots feel that.
Yeah.
There's a neural connection between them. I'm into all that, but that was kind of weird for me, and I don't. So whenever we meet Shiro, he's captured by the Galra again. He's seemingly been experimented on. He blasts his way off the Galra ship, finds his way down to a planet, and when his ship finally gets away, one of the Galra commanders is like, all right, subject 32 is away, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Leading us to believe that they let him go.
Yeah.
This was an experiment on their part. They've done something to him. while he's been captured and out of the show for this time. But they leave
Some-
an awful lot to chance
Yeah.
that, like, was it maybe it wasn't their idea for him to get back to Voltron, because you can't plan him getting back on the Galra ship, stealing one of their fighters, and then drifting off into space after Voltron and possibly dying.
Yeah, he was at his wit's end. He was running out of oxygen. It was the last gasp. Just it was luck that had the Black Line realize that he was close enough. So that seems like a pretty loose plan by the Galra.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem like pretty strategic bunch. So you would think that their plans would be a little bit better.
They're ordered.
They're very regimented.
They like straight lines.
Yes.
Could you even say they like tiki torches?
I think I saw a couple of those dudes.
But yeah, like this plan was just unwieldy, and there's a lot of time for them to bring it back together and tie all that up. But like, what are you guys doing? Like, you had him, and then you let him go. Why'd you let him go?
Yeah.
You almost lost him. I feel like since he's the new paladin of the Black Lion, you finally had him. You want to be a little more careful about how you're putting him back out into the wild after you've experimented on him.
Yeah, like you could be potentially stopping Voltron from functioning the way it's supposed to by keeping him in your grasp. So it seems like a misstep by not only the writers of the show, but the Galra Empire in general. So
let's talk about the antagonists of the show. Lotor and his team of sexy ladies.
Yeah, I thought that their introduction was cool, where they're going up against like that outpost, that Galra outpost. Lotor seems pretty cool. His introduction when he's in the gladiator arena and he gives some big speech, I thought that really set the tone for the kind of things that he was going to do. And he's sort of he's a different ruler than Zarkon, his father. He wants people to kind of follow him and not just lead with an iron fist. But I don't know if it's certainly working with everybody, because he seems like he's still a little bit of an outsider because he's doing all these things with his covert tactical team.
He's still brutal in a sense, where one of the first Galra commanders he meets stands up to him and he's like, "Well, I'll kill you, and then you're not like I'll take over this position then." And Lotor cleans his clock, but instead of killing him, he's like, "You know what? I'm not my father. We're gonna work together. You have the courage to come down here, stand up to me. We're gonna do this together. You're a valuable member of the Galra Empire." And then afterwards, he's like, "Send that guy to the farthest reaches of space for this nonsense." And like that's kind of his plan. Like if you're gonna play, they'll take care of you. But if you're not, then get out of here.
Zarkon seemed to be just brute strength and fear, where this guy is a sort of a tactician. You get a glimpse of it when he has the lions chase him through like that the nebula or whatever. Yeah. I always think of it as like the nebula
free zone
from like Wrath of Khan. That's what I always think. That's where they went and flew through there and couldn't see anything.
Right.
So he got a real sense of what the lions could do and really sized them up instead of just going at them and attacking them. So it's a different type of enemy that I think
Zarkon's the hammer and Lotor's the scalpel.
Yeah. Did you like the final episode where it was essentially a flashback episode to the original Paladins of Voltron and the origin of how Voltron comes to be, how Zarkon comes to be?
How Zarkon and Agar were married.
Yeah. How they're zombies.
Yeah, I guess they are. They are zombies. I liked it. I would have liked it better if it was the 7th episode of a 10-episode season. Yeah. And that's not just hate on like them like cutting this and prolonging it. I assume we're gonna get 7 seasons on October 13th when season 4 comes out. I liked it, but I wanted a lot. I don't subscribe to Star Wars prequel nonsense. But a lot of people say Sith really works if you watch it between Empire and Jedi.
Yeah.
Like it's a good flashback movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this could have worked better if it didn't end the season if like we then get back into the rest of the story with this immediate knowledge
Yeah.
of what happened with Alfor and Zarkon and the former team.
Yeah.
I really liked Lotor's cabal of assassins
Mm-hmm.
because they mirror the Voltron force. And
Yeah, a little bit.
if they don't form their own evil robot,
That would be so awesome.
I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, this season was very light on row beasts, so I would think that they would have some kind.
It was light on forming Voltron.
Yeah, it really was.
Because in the original series, every time they form Voltron, they do the entire animation, they do the music, like all of it, Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that in season 1. Every time they formed, they did the whole animation for it. And I think in season 2. But now this time they pulled back on a lot of that. But I forget which episode it was, but it hit me that I think it was the end of episode 3. I was like, oh, Lotor's people they're like the mirror image of Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Allura, who's a girl, and 4 guys in pitch.
Yeah.
And then Lotor's team is him, the guy, with 4 girls.
Yeah.
So, and like there's the big strong one, which is Hunk. There's the sciencey one, which is Pidge. The wisecracking Lance, and then like the quiet, broody one with Cat, which is Keith.
Yeah.
So like they mirror that team, and like I always thought it would be a really cool idea to see them like somehow find a way to build another Voltron.
Yeah, and you never get that in the original series, but that seems like the logical extension of Voltron kicks the crap out of all these row beasts left and right.
Mm.
What's a thing that, and he's the greatest weapon in all of the universe. So, it has to be an escalation of weapons, and I would imagine that Lotor is smart enough and savvy enough to maybe find more pieces of that comet or something that was the material that they made Voltron out of to maybe make his own kind of thing. I don't know if that's the way the plot's headed, but I think that would be really cool.
It could be. At the end of the 7 episodes, we see them build that ship.
Yeah.
And, they build the ship out of the same ore that Voltron's made from. And it's really powerful, has a lot of really interesting capabilities. So, and I was talking with our buddy Justin, and he said, you know what? I don't think it's going to be more lions. I think it's going to be ships. And they're going to do a callback to the Voltron 2, which was all the spaceships.
Yeah.
Which it could be, and I'd like to see it done properly. They did it in comic books, but the evil Voltron looked like a big samurai warrior.
Yeah, with
and
like a drill head or something like that.
It was just too from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, granted, lions also from Earth.
These are space lions.
But they are space lions. Like, cats exist in the Voltron universe. We've seen them a bunch of times, so it's not that far a stretch to believe like an alien race like creates their robots out, based on cats.
Mm-hmm.
So, but seeing like a samurai, which is clearly like from Earth, like I wasn't feeling it. I don't think it worked all that well. It just felt like, hey, wouldn't this be neat?
Yeah.
And like foregoing the history of the property for, oh, I think this would look really neat. I want to draw this, so we're gonna make this.
Yeah.
Wasn't feeling it.
We'll have to see. October 7th or 17th, one 13th, of those times.
October 13th.
Sometime in October.
Also, I love Lotor's ship. I want to see more of Lotor's ship. It sounded awesome. It looked awesome. It was kind of like the TIE Interceptor with like 2 long.
Yeah, it was cool, and it kind of had some different movement
both of the sides moved and could like flip around and stuff.
That was cool. So yeah, I guess that'll do it. We'll reconvene here for the season 4. Review of Voltron. So if you guys have any feedback on what you thought about Voltron, hit us up. You can leave comments here on the YouTube channel. You can also hit us up on McSoss.com, where we have all of our stuff. I'm Ian.
I'm Paul.
See you next time.